So today's video is going to be about wallpaper symbols. It's something we get asked a lot about and I thought I'd talk you through them, make sure everybody understands the 5 different symbols that there are. First of all, I was going to show you where you'd find them on a wallpaper label. They're usually along here. The 5 symbols at the bottom, it talks about its washability, the hanging guidelines, the wallpaper match, the colour Lightfastness, if I can say that word, and then how to remove the wallpaper. So as I say, usually down here where your pattern number and batch number are. Sometimes the paste the wall element is included somewhere else, but I'm also going to give you some top tips on looking out for paste the wall versus paste the paper. If you have any questions at the end of this, as always, just drop us a message. So the first set of symbols I was going to talk about was the washability of wallpaper. For me, it's the most important symbol to look out for because it tells you where your wallpaper is going to be suitable, which rooms you can use it in. Traditionally, a lot of people thought you needed specialist wallpapers for rooms with a lot of moisture, such as bathrooms and kitchens. That's not the case anymore. You just need to look out for how washable they are. So the first symbol is Spongeable. So just with, as it suggests, with a sponge you can wipe down the paper. Still able to clean it, usually still a vinyl, it's just not as durable. So I'd focus on these for rooms like your bedrooms or your living rooms and keep to the low traffic areas where they're not really going to get much welly. The next symbol you're looking for is washable. So anything that I'm going to talk about now is suitable for any room in the house. The more washable they are, the better for rooms like your hallway or your bathroom or your kitchen, but still these will be suitable in any. So you've got the 2 wiggly lines, I like to call them, displays washable. Then you've got 3 wiggly lines, sorry guys, I've got them in the wrong order, is your Extra-Washable. And then the next one would be Scrubbable. So it looks like a scrubbing brush with a single wiggly line. And then the final one is your Extra-Scrubbable. 2 wiggly lines with your scrubbing brush. Oh sorry, three squiggly lines with your scrubbing brush. The scrubbable wallpapers tend to be your heavyweight Italian vinyl wallpapers. I actually happen to have one here. They're really thick, heavy weighted wallpaper printed on 300 GSM. They are suitable for any room in your home. A hallway, absolutely fantastic, which tends to get quite a lot of bashing. As I mentioned earlier, your kitchen and your bathroom that get a lot of moisture and marks. An extra scrubbable or a scrubbable wallpaper are brilliant in those kind of areas. So next I'm going to talk about wallpaper matching. I think wallpaper matching is something that scares quite a lot of people and it doesn't need to. So I'm going to talk you through what all of the symbols are that you're looking at, and then also we're going to show you exactly what that means when you're matching up, just in the hope that it makes it a lot clearer for you. So the first and easiest one, as you can imagine, is a free match. There's absolutely no matching to do and therefore there is no waste on the wallpaper. If you've got standard height ceilings, which is about 2.2, 2.3 metres, you will get 4 lengths per roll because you've not experienced any wastage with those. The next one is a straight match, and what that means is the pattern is happening in exactly the same place across the wall. Again, quite an easy one to match up, quite easy to see where the pattern is. This one you will get some waste, so you're usually working on about 3 lengths per roll on a standard height ceiling. The next one is an offset match. Now this one will give you 2 waist levels, so it might say 26/13, meaning that on one strip you would lose 26 centimetres, on the next one you would lose 13, for example, and the pattern is happening diagonally across the paper. A little trick with offset match papers is usually to have 2 rolls open at the same time. So you would take strip 1 from roll 1, strip 2 from roll 2, and then go back to roll 1 for strip 3. This is the hope that you catch the smaller pattern wastage each time so that you get more off each roll. Again, like with the straight match, you're going to work on 3 lengths to a roll with that one. The next one you don't see an awful lot is reverse hang each length. The times I've seen this is usually on a plain glittered wallpaper, and it means that you'll hang one length one way and then flip the wallpaper over and hang the next length the next way, and hopefully that stops any kind of shading when you've got a plain paper. On this one I'd really advise making sure on the back of your paper when you're measuring up, drawing yourself a little arrow so you know which way is the top, and then you can reverse it. And the final one is horizontal. You'll see this a lot more on wallpapers now. It's an optional piece usually, so it means that you can hang the paper horizontally, but you can also hang it vertically. So another new one worth looking out for. The next two I'm going to talk about, I don't tend to pay as much attention to because if I like a wallpaper, I'm going for it regardless. However, they can be useful for some people, especially if you wallpaper regularly and you want to make sure it's nice and easy to remove what you're doing, or if you have it in a really area of high direct sunlight. So the first is how to remove your wallpaper. You have strippable wallpaper, which basically the theory is they come off in one sheet, strip at a time. May not be quite that perfect, but it should take the front and also the backing paper off at the same time whilst dry. The next one is peelable. So again, you should be able to take this off whilst dry, but it will take the top coating off, not the backing coating. And then the final one is wet removable. So this one you'll need to use some kind of solution or soaking to remove the wallpaper from the wall, and you will need to usually use a tool, maybe a wallpaper scorer or a stripping blade to remove the wallpaper. The next set is how the wallpaper performs under direct sunlight. So as I said, not a key characteristic of a wallpaper that I personally look for. I don't tend to leave wallpaper that long. I'm a bit of a serial decorator, but if you're going to put something up and it's going to be on there for years and it is sitting in the direct sunlight of your home, you may really want to pay attention to these. So you've got moderate, satisfactory, good, and then there is also a very good as well if you if it's conservatory, something like that, and you really need to withstand the direct sunlight. So hanging guidelines is another really important one to take a look at. It basically tells you how you're going to apply the wallpaper. A lot of people now want to look out for paste the wall wallpaper. It's such an easy method of applying wallpaper because, as the name suggests, you put the paste straight onto the wall and take the wallpaper to it. So you no longer need your pasting table, you don't need to let the wallpaper soak, it's all done at the wall and much less time consuming. So the symbol you're looking for is this one here, as it's kind of self-explanatory. I think they've done a really good job with this one. It's your wallpaper hanging brush and the wall vertical to show that you are pasting the wall. The other type is paste the paper. So as you'd imagine, the paper's laid flat and it shows that you're pasting the paper. These are your traditional kind of application of wallpaper. What we've been using for years and years. That's where you get your paste table out, paste the paper, fold it up, leave it to soak for a number of minutes that's stipulated on the label as well, and then take your paper up to the wall. And then finally, not as common, you do have a ready pasted wallpaper. So if you've got your wallpaper samples home, guys, and you're not sure whether they're a paste the wall or paste the wallpaper design, a top tip for you to save you quickly having to log back onto the website. If you flip over the wallpaper and take a look at the back, you're looking at the colour. So this one here is a bright white, this one here is kind of like a creamy off-white kind of colour. The bright white is paste the wall wallpaper. You can also feel a little bit of a different texture there. The off-white creamy colour is a paste the paper design. For a straight pattern match, as I mentioned earlier, the pattern happens in exactly the same place across the wall. So you can see here, it's happening straight across. So now all we need to do is keep lowering the paper until we get it at the correct height to match sheet number 1. And there we go. And then I would cut at the top and the bottom. It will be a little bit longer. That's because you've got your waste from your pattern match. So this is an offset match paper. As I mentioned earlier, offset match means that the pattern is happening usually diagonally across the paper rather than going exactly straight across in the same place each time. I find the easiest thing to do is have my first strip cut as per the height of the wall with a little bit of give either side for cutting down, and then I take the roll ready to measure the next strip. Make sure on the back you've numbered that this is strip number 1 so that you know what you're doing when you come to hang them. So all I do is I start and I hold the paper in place, and I can find that I've got the match there, but obviously my piece isn't long enough, so I'm going to keep going. It's quite obvious I'm not matching across the wall yet, and there I've found the match. So my pattern is happening diagonally across the wallpaper. If you liked it, give us a like below, subscribe to our channel because there's going to be lots more coming. Give us a shout and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.